Welcome to the exciting and new mini podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
I'm Dana.
And there's no one there today. I turned off the mic too, and
so
we didn't have any.
So next time we'll be like, why can't I hear that person's voice?
I think it's coming through Dana's mic. All right, I watched one new thing this week. It's an old show, not that old though, but I started it. I watched season 1 when it first came on, then I just fell off. I'm watching Silicon Valley on Max, so I'm about halfway through the first season, 10 episodes a season, which is decent. Yeah, I like it. It's a fun show.
That's TJ Miller.
TJ Miller's in there. Kamal Nanjiani and Martin Starr.
Oh, really? Martin Starr's in that too? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I like him. A few other people too, but yeah, I recommend it. Silicon Valley. Again, I'm only in the season 1. I've watched season 1 all the way through, but I'm looking forward to more seasons.
Well, we're
and I got to get back
Martin.
on the Unstable season 2. I got to watch that.
Oh, I forgot that was even out. I got to tell him. I don't think Michelle even realized that.
I told her today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we were almost done Modern Family, so we have to find a new show. Maybe it's Silicon Valley.
You guys went through that fast.
We have to finish The League, too, because we got like 3 or 4 seasons into The League.
Did you watch that, right? The League?
No.
Oh,
I did.
That's a fun one with
is Paul Scheer?
Nick
Kroll.
Paul Scheer's in there. Yeah.
Oh, he is?
I think Paul Scheer and Nicole, I think they created it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if they
who's
all
the
created
main guy? I like him. I want to say
Steve
Billy Crudup, but
Renazizi.
is that it? It's not Billy Crudup, but he looks like him to me. But whatever.
Steve Renazizi's in it. That's the guy who lied about
He's the 9/11 guy.
Oh.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and then the other guy, Jason Matsukas.
Yes. He's in it a little bit. Yeah, right. Okay.
He gets into it more. Yeah.
We watched a couple movies this weekend because it was raining out all weekend.
Yes, it was.
In between poker, because I had poker on Saturday night, and it was a rousing success. We watched on Friday night. Fly Me to the Moon? Was that the movie?
I think that's what it's called.
Fly Me to the Moon. Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum. I know, and I usually put them on the top of my notes. I just didn't take notes on this movie until last night. So, yeah, Fly Me to the Moon. Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum, other people, but it's about the moon landing. And Scarlett Johansson's like a marketing exec.
This is on Apple, right?
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
And she's a marketing exec, and they want to film a fake moon landing just in case. So it's a fake moon landing, but there's a real moon landing
series?
as well. No, it's
a movie, right? Okay.
One and done. It's a rom-com, but there's not a lot of rom in it. There might be a little rom. But
Who is the male?
Channing Tatum.
Oh, okay.
Who looks like a brick. Like, he's so uninteresting to me. Like, do chicks dig him?
I don't know. I think he's got like a sweet kind of personality that might help, and plus Magic Mike didn't hurt because
even that? Okay.
He looked a little. He was younger, and I think he was really built but thinner.
Okay.
Do you like him? One of my go-to is Tom Hardy. That's my guy now. Tom Hardy. I love him.
Yeah, but Tom Hardy isn't, and Channing Tatum are different.
I think they're very similar.
See, I don't, because Channing Tatum he started out in all the dance movies. Like, he's a big dancer. He's like in those like Step It Up movies, and he's kind of like a teen, like kind of like a heartthrob.
He does like action movies now, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, Magic Mike wasn't that long ago, and that was all about dancing.
Was he in the first one, or did he come in later? He was in the beginning. Okay, I didn't know if he was in it for
based on his life. Right? Isn't it based on his life?
No.
Sofia Vergara's husband was in it too.
Joe Manganiello.
I thought those were based on somebody's early career or something.
Not his, because it's about male strippers and dancing.
I believe he was a male stripper before he became an actor. I thought that was the story.
I don't think it's based on
his life, but maybe not.
It would be odd if it was.
I honestly thought, maybe not be the story of his life, but I honestly thought that he was a stripper before he became an actor. Again, I don't know, but I thought that was his story.
I don't think it is.
Channing Tatum always looks like he's not quite sure he understood the question that's being asked to him in any movie. He always looks like he's kind of like, wait, what?
I do remember the first time I saw him in a serious movie where he wasn't...
22 Jump Street?
No.
Good movie.
He was in a movie with Anne Hathaway where I think it was about pharmaceutical drugs, maybe. I don't know if he...
It was a serious movie?
Yeah, it was a serious movie.
No,
that's Camille Nanjiani.
Right,
but
I wasn't sure.
But it was around that same time, though. Okay. I do feel like it came out at the same time. But I don't know if she was a pharma rep or something. She was doing bad things. I can't remember. But he was serious in that movie, and it surprised me.
Yeah.
But he was good as Gambit.
He was great as Gambit.
So I don't know.
How about
I thought that was
somebody
really
didn't like him as Gambit?
Someone didn't like him.
Yeah, we were talking to Ray.
Did Ray not like him?
Yeah, he said something. He's like,
Ray
I think we should,
from work.
Yeah, I think we should went with
Did he come here for?
No, we were talking about
work.
Well, you pointed out. You kind of looked over there, and I thought like.
Well, I was thinking like maybe like
him, and then I was like,
I was thinking like someone at poker the other night, like saying talking about that.
The three of us talk, or me and him were talking, and then somebody came and interrupted, and he said he liked that movie, but he didn't like the choice for Gambit. He said he would have went the other way.
Yeah, but
what was the other way?
Taylor Lautner or whatever, the one who played him in Wolverine Origins.
Taylor Lautner from Twilight.
Maybe it's Taylor Lautner. I don't know. Taylor somebody.
Yeah.
Name one of the other Taylors.
Swift. I don't know.
Definitely not her.
There's Taylor Lautner, and I don't know, but he was in
Taylor Kish.
Well, speaking of Taylor Kish is a person. Yes,
is that a man?
I think so.
Okay,
because
there was a Taylor in the first Wolverine movie.
It would make more sense that it's Taylor Kish.
Wolverine Origins.
You know what's funny is we're rewatching all of the X-Men movies, and that's our next movie to watch.
To hear that. I mean,
I'm enjoying the first couple.
1, 2, and then 1, 2, and that's all you should watch.
Well, I've watched
X-Men 2, and then
what's the third one?
X-Men 3: Last Stand, which is terrible. I watched that.
We're up to then Wolverine.
And then
Days
of Future Past, and
in order.
Yeah, I know, but
it goes Wolverine.
You don't have to. It's not good.
I liked Wolverine. Listen, I'm watching it because Hugh Jackman is in it. I don't care if it's good or not.
Taylor Kish plays Remy LeBeau in Gambit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's what Ray was talking about. They should have gone with him.
Well, now I do want to see it because I don't remember that character
Houston
in this.
Plays Striker. I forgot he was Striker.
Right, yeah. He's one of the many. I mean, Brian Cox was him also next to. And
okay.
So yeah. So Fly Me to the Moon? Yeah, it was
Fly Me to the Moon.
And then the other movie we watched, which I'm almost embarrassed to say we watched, starred a better dopey-looking muscle guy, John Cena, with Aquafina and
is that good?
Jackpot. It's pretty funny.
Okay, I did want to see it.
It's a terrible movie. The plot is so ridiculous.
She wins the lottery and they're trying to kill her? Is that the story?
It's 2030. Okay. It's deep into the future. It's 2030.
California really
now. Flying cars yet?
No, nothing looks different except for the fact that I guess Bidenomics has now driven us into such a depression that California has said that. But somehow they have legalized murder. Because you win the lottery, and
this is the purge for 12 hours,
right?
It
is the purge, and you have 12 hours to kill that person that won the lottery, and then you win the money.
But didn't you say you can't kill him in a certain way?
You can't use guns. No guns. So everything has to be hand-to-hand combat, basically.
So then if Jason wins the lottery and you kill him, you get the money. But if you get the money, can I kill you?
I ask that question every time it came up in the movie. I'm like, so what happens if that person kills? Because there's a time, there's a million times in this movie where it's Aquafina against a legion of people. Like there's 75 people running at her. I'm like, so what happens if that one guy kills her? I'm like, can they kill him? But that's never addressed in the movie at all. It's Aquafina against the world. I mean, spoiler for this entire movie. She lives. I mean, would you think that she was going to die at any point? No.
Doesn't seem like the kind of movie where the person would die.
No. So it's Aquafina against Los Angeles.
Doesn't she have a guy helping her?
John Cena.
Oh, you said that. John
Cena works for like a company that protects you.
Yeah.
And John Cena.
Ricky Stenicki.
I mean, it's a dumb movie. It's so dumb. Like, it's embarrassing that we watched it, but I saw it was the first movie up. I'm
I wouldn't be embarrassed. It's an Aquafina movie. It's decent. It's on Prime.
I like her. I know that we have people that listen to this podcast or have been on this podcast. They probably don't listen that don't like her.
You said, whatchamacallit didn't like her, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind her. I think she's funny. I like her.
I do too. Yeah. I like the sound of her voice for some reason. I find her entertaining.
Deep and
raspy. Yeah.
Anyway. That was it. That's all we did this week.
Her grandmother on Nora from Queens.
I like Nora from Queens, yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I haven't liked her grandmother in Shang-Chi. She was in Shang-Chi. It was almost like the same thing. Her grandmother, she was living with her grandma on that. I guess when she's in it, she's like, I got to have my grandmother represented because I could think her grandmother raised her.
Yeah.
What you watched, Dana?
Not much.
Or what did you read?
Well, I just finished a book called The Midnight Library, which was really good. I don't know if either of you would like it, but I think Michelle will, so I have to tell her about it. But basically, when you die, there's a point in between life and death where you can
get put in a bowl and they put your brain into somebody else.
Yes.
Okay.
No. And then
we'll get there soon.
No. So
Beckenbowl.
You could go somewhere and you could see all the different variations that your life could have taken, and you could choose to relive those lives.
It's like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah. So you go in, you're like, oh, what would have happened if I decided not to be on this podcast when Andy asked me? So say I'm on this podcast.
You'd be on a successful one now instead.
Yeah. So then you go back to that point in time and you're hugely successful at this podcast.
But
and you're
how many options do you get? Because isn't every single decision... So you're supposed to go back endless. And rethink every decision?
There's someone
that didn't work out the way I like. I'm gonna go back,
that's what happens. Yeah. So if you feel at any point, you feel disappointment in where you are, you get zapped back right away. So you have to be truly happy.
Back to the beginning?
Back to the starting in-between, point? If you will. So you have a guide in the in-between, and you'd be like, okay, so say you're the guide, I'd be like, Jason, I want to see what would have happened if I decided to go to medical school and become a doctor. If that was something you liked. Then you could go back and all of a sudden you might end up in the middle of an operation. You have no form of knowledge of being a doctor. You know what I mean? Not that this happened in the book, but you could be in the middle of open heart surgery where they zap you to, because you go back to that very same moment of which you died, and you're in that exact moment. So you could be in the middle of something and you're like, oh shit, I'm not really a heart surgeon, but here I am. And then
in my previous life,
then you might just kill that
Holiday Inn Express last night.
Yeah.
So.
But
I don't think I have any points in my life where I'm like, man, what would have happened if I had done that? Because I have no desire to do anything. But there was never a choice.
But there's always the things like, what if I was a superstar musician?
That was one of the things in here. She had given up. She was in a mediocre band with her brother, and she quit. And her brother was mad at her and didn't talk to her. Well, she went and was like, okay, what would have happened if I stayed in the band and we had become successful? Yeah. And then she goes back. So she goes back and forth through all these different scenarios. But it's funny because it has you thinking damn, if I had to pick something... and I did this, then you think about, but then that would have never happened and that would have never happened. So it was really good. It was a quick read and I really liked it. So
it sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was good. Other than that, I've...
Doing your Community rewatch.
Yes, I've been watching Community.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, I watch it in between a lot of stuff. But I'm rewatching Parks and Rec.
That's a good one.
I tried to get Tara to watch it with me, and she absolutely refuses.
What doesn't she like?
Because she says that...
Just skip season 1. Just go right past season 1.
Season 1 is only 6 episodes anyway.
Then maybe it's season 2 also. Whatever the season that Rob Lowe and Adam Scott joined, that's where you start watching.
Three or four when they come in. But it's definitely... I don't mind the earlier seasons.
Neither do I, because they're quick and, they're silly or whatever. But she says that all the times that she's walked in, I guess the first time I watched it, walked in and might have seen a scene. She's like, it's really dumb.
Man,
so
Parks and Rec's a lot of things. Dumb is not one of those things.
I agree.
Silly, yes.
Meanwhile, she's watching a show called Ballers.
Oh, okay. Rock?
Yeah.
That's The Rock.
The Rock, yeah. Her and Ashley really like it. I know. Ashley, I was babysitting.
That's like Entourage on steroids.
Yeah. It's weird to see The Rock in... sexual situations.
Oh,
and as a
painful.
as a badass. He talks shit.
Yeah, Ashley was saying how it's weird because she sees him and he might be in his underwear, but she just sees the guy from Moana because it's got the tattoo. You know what I mean? She's like, it's really weird.
And she just sees it. Can you smell?
Yeah, exactly. So when I was over there and she put it on, I was holding the baby, whatever, and it happened to be a scene where I was like, oh, am I about to see The Rock getting it on with someone? I don't think I want to see that. It's very weird.
Things you don't need to see.
Yeah.
And
he's too big to be in a sex scene.
He has zero sex appeal, so I can't see him being
he
sexy.
Is pure muscle. His body is jacked, but it's nothing there. No. So and plus you just kind of think of him in
silly situations
or family movies
or
like
wrestling.
Moana or wrestling, and you don't think of him as that kind of character. So for me, it's weird. But Tara and Ashley really like it. So.
I had an unblemished Rock record until COVID. I'd never ever seen The Rock in anything.
Oh, ever. Really?
Never had I ever seen him in anything. And then we watched Jumanji.
That was really good.
Years after it had come out, but I think the second one was coming out, and so Michelle and Logan were like,
that's when I watched it too.
Let's watch the first one again. And I was just like, is The Rock in this? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go upstairs and do anything else. And they're like, just sit and watch it.
I enjoyed it.
It was a very good movie.
I
liked it too.
But it was also very good because, Kevin Hart was in it, Jack Black was in it, and The Rock being in it. It could have been anybody else but The Rock, and it still would have been funny. But that's the only thing I've ever seen The Rock in.
Ensemble cast made that one.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen many of his movies.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his.
I saw one with Kevin Hart and him.
Which one?
Central Intelligence or something like that.
I never saw that one.
And I did see Moana. I did see that also.
Yeah,
I saw Moana
that
too,
character has all his tattoos. Like, is
I feel like that doesn't count though because it was just his voice. So I could say, was he even in that? Oh, is that The Rock?
I thought that was somebody playing The Rock.
Yeah. Other than that, I really haven't done much of anything.
You know what you could tell people to do? Check us out over there on Spreaker. Download, rate, subscribe, review, do all those fun things. Exciting and new podcast on all of our socials. The Jazoo on Instagram, Jazoo74 over there on Twitter/X. This has been the Exciting and New mini podcast, and I am Jason.
AEGonzo1 on Instagram, AEGonzo1970 on Twitter. I forgot what I had to do there for a second, and I got those backwards. I'm Andy.
Dana Caps on TikTok, Dana Caps 77 on Instagram. I'm Dana.
Beep, boop, boop, boop. No one's got anything else to say? I'm just going to let her run out.
Fuck you.
Oh my God. My father